What's going on, everybody? Your host, AMF1534 here. Welcome back to Let's Play some more Gran Turismo, the ultimate driving simulator. And at this point in our newest installment of Endurance Race Mania, we are on lap 35 of the Grand Valley 60, and we're on the, we're over the hill, I guess you could say. I mean, not like we're celebrating our, 40th birthday or whatever the over the hill stage is, I suppose, but we are there. We are past the halfway point. And I couldn't be any happier with the results, really. We are 125% just dominating the competition right now. We've lapped everybody at least once at this point, and we're running away with it. And it's great. There's not really anything that could go on right now that could possibly ruin my mood for how well this is going. It's simply lemonade. I mean, it's simply lemonade. It's great. It's nice and pulpy, a little bit of sweetness in there, but primarily tart, and it goes well with just about everything. Besides, dumping it all over a birthday cake or putting it in a bowl of oatmeal, because I don't think that liquefied citrus tart pulpy oatmeal would taste very good. But I think you get what I'm really driving at here. I'm really trying to drive the point home, and I think you guys are getting it. So that's what's going on. In a nutshell, that I've been trying to deliver over the last minute and a half is that things are good. So that's what's going on there. I'm having a great weekend. How is your guys' weekend going? Did you guys do anything fun this over your 2 days worth of probably not being at work, even though some of you probably were, like myself, for instance? I've had a great weekend, actually. I mean, today in a nutshell. Packers beat the Niners. I can't be upset with that ever, because I've been waiting for them to win that game for a few years now. They finally got over the hump with losing to the Seahawks and the Niners multiple years in a row. So this is good times for me. Not to mention that I'm also going to, more than likely, barring some type of complete catastrophe, I'm going to win my fantasy matchup this week due to one of the most awesome, super timely, strategic moves that I've ever done in my life as a fantasy owner. It was so great. So the guy that I'm playing against right now, I'm ahead of him. I think going into this, I was ahead of him by like 17 to 19 points. I don't remember exactly what it is. And he's got 2 players left. He's got a wide receiver that plays for the Seahawks, so who knows how that's going to go. They generally run the ball more than anything else, but who's to say? And then he's also got his defense slot open, but my thinking is that he didn't really pay attention when he set his lineup this week, because he still has the Patriots D in his lineup right now. And they're not playing. I mean, they're sitting on their easy chairs, tossing back a Pawtucket Patriot right now, for all I know. But he left him in his lineup, and they're not playing. And so I'm sitting there thinking, man, if he ends up actually, like, going and looking at his lineup and realizing that he didn't start a defense that was actually playing, and he goes out and gets one, like, this could be a lot closer than I wanted. So I was like, shit, what can I do here? And I was like, well, there's only one game tomorrow, so, and obviously somebody's going to have Seattle's defense. There's not a freaking fantasy owner in all of fantasy football land that doesn't, or at least not a league anywhere that doesn't have Seattle's D picked up somewhere. And I was like, well, I wonder if anybody has the Lions defense. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to go look at this. And so, not like I need them, because I already had a defense that played. But I was just kind of crafting a theory here. And so I went and jumped into the free agent pool. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, well, I wonder who's there. And I look, and lo and behold, there's the Lions defense. It's the only defense that was available that hasn't played yet. And you can pick up teams as long as either the player or the defense or whatever it is, as long as they haven't played yet, you can pick them up as a free agent, and you have an available slot, obviously. And so I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I mean, I don't need this team at all. I mean, I've already got better things out there, and my defense has already played. But what I could do is I could totally pick up this defense and drop one of my players that I'm, not using right now, just so that in the event that he goes to try to pick them up, he can't take them because they'll be on my roster. And so I did that. Best move I probably could have ever done, because no matter what he does now, there's no player he can pick up to put into that slot. So he's going to get an automatic 0 from his defense, which may end up saving my hide. I mean, it's going to take a pretty crazy effort from his wide receiver to get the 19 or 20 points to beat me. So, yeah. Oh, I am such an asshole. But you know what? That's what you got to do, man. Sometimes you gotta do moves like that, because this is a no prisoners league, man. This isn't going to be one of those text him up, hey man, you forgot to pick a defense, you might want to get on that. It's going to be more like a, hey man, this dude was being fucking lazy. I don't give two squirts of piss about this, man. I got to do what I got to do to win, because this is a paid league. I mean, we got money at stake here, so I'm not going to sit here and, you know, be the old friendly Joe here and be like, oh well, you might want to do that, man. I want a good clean matchup. You know, I don't want to win by default. I don't care how I have to win. I will do whatever is necessary. So that is my highlight move. I'm feeling good about it. So that's what's going on there. But the other part of my weekend is, you guys know, I talked about this a couple episodes ago, that I was going to go to that health convention on Saturday. And I did that. It was so much fun. My dad actually ended up going with my brother and I, so the massive load of stress of, you know, that I was taking on of, you know, I'm gonna have to be like the primary representative of the store, and it's so you know, makes me so uncomfortable to think that, you know, I might have to be that guy. Having my dad there with us actually made this way less stressful, because everybody knows my dad. Like, he's been to so many of those shows. He's got relationships with like every vendor on the fucking planet, it seems like. And so, you know, we drove up to Seattle, man. I woke up at like 7 in the morning, and we started driving up there. We ended up stopping off at a Denny's in Kelso, and hey, gotta get on that All-American Slam, man. That's what life is all about. Until we were leaving, and I ended up totally destroying their bathroom. Not with, like, you know, hard explosives like C4 and whatnot. I'm talking more like explosives from the anus. I really put a dirty bomb in there, so to speak. It was not. I feel bad for those guys. But hey, what do you do? What do you do? That's all part of what Denny's can do to your insides, and it did. So we end up getting up there, and dude, it was just a blast. Like, we got to go up there and just, it was apparently a much smaller show than what I'm used to seeing, like going to the ones in Las Vegas or going to I've never been to the one at Anaheim, but I've heard the stories about how crazy those shows can get, where they were supposedly like 100 times more chaotic than the one I was at. The one that I was at, it really only took up like one floor, where a lot of these will take up multiple floors, and it's just total insanity from top to bottom. But it was really cool, though. I mean, it was a smaller, intimate type of thing, so you didn't feel like you had to rush through every booth. Like, you were able to go to one, and you were usually able to just kind of sit there and talk with the person running the booth and really get a better, more complete understanding of, like, their company and their products that they're trying to sell, and, you know, really be able to talk with them and kind of, you know, make a real connection, other than, oh, hey, how's it going? What's your deal? Okay, I'll buy some, give me that, see you later. It was more of like a, hey, like, my name is, you know, Adam, I'm from Salem Health Foods, I'm really intrigued to see what you have. What can you tell me about your products? And, you know, you get to talk about, you know, personal experiences and you know, about, you know, more stuff in depth about the product itself, and, you know, special testimonies that they've heard, or like personal experiences they've had with their products, and all sorts of cool stuff, man. There was a lot of really intriguing stuff there, dude. It was really cool. There was stuff, they had like some powdered drink mixes for people suffering from like ADD, hyperactivity, like Asperger's syndrome, just anxiety, and just like, you know, stress of varying levels. It was really cool. There was like this pain cream that was made out of snake venom, which I thought was awesome. That may have been one of my favorite things that I saw the entire time. So cool. Would have never thought in a million years that somebody would have actually been bold enough to make a pain cream out of 3 different types of snake venom. So awesome. And just all sorts of stuff, man. One of my favorite booths I went to, though, was for a company called Natural Factors. We've been doing stuff with them for probably 3 decades or more even. And like we know their vendors really well. Like it's we kind of, that was one that we visited towards the end just because we knew, you know, we already knew everybody that was over there. We knew exactly what we were going to be getting from them when we went and saw them. But dude, their show special was so tight. All we had to do was order like 3 different floor displays of these certain vitamins, and by doing that program, we'd actually get a free Apple TV out of it. And so we ended up doing 2 full sets of those orders. So we got 2 free Apple TVs out of it. My brother got to keep one of them, and I totally got the other one. So I totally came out of that show not only with just like a giant burlap sack full, like filled to the brim with like free product samples and all sorts of like, you know, literature and information and stuff, because I love all that. I love being able to learn about all these new products and whatnot, but I came out of it with a freaking Apple TV for free. It's so great, man. That's everything that I've always, I mean, I've never even used one before, so I really don't have an opinion on it one way or the other. But hey, now I don't have to pay for it to even try it out. Now I can just freaking have one and use it, you know. Or if it's something that I end up, you know, not needing to use, I can totally sell it and make a decent amount of money out of it. So that's, hey man, that's money in the bank right there. It's either money in the bank or it's going to be, you know, pure enjoyment one way or the other. So I'm super down with it. And that, my friends, is the beauty of doing Expo Northwest. You can go there and order some vitamins and come out with free technology. Yeah! So, super cool though. There were places that were selling like, you know, like herbal teas. There were like, you know, hemp body creams and, you know, cannabis oil type of stuff. So, I mean, there were, you know, now that is a totally legal thing in the state of Oregon, there are companies that are kind of experimenting with that a little bit. I don't really have an opinion on it one way or the other, but man, it was pretty cool. Oh, there was this one company. I don't remember what their name was, but they deal with like immune system products. And they had this one product called, I think it was called like Congestion and Sinus Blaster. And my dad had tried it before I got over there. He was talking to one of the vendors for this place. And my dad's like really sensitive to anything like with any sort of spice at all, probably because he's like the whitest dude on the planet, which I think it's hilarious. I love watching my dad eat spicy things. He gets red. He gets like red as a tomato, dude. Like he gets as red as the red on those chevrons right there, or like the red on those little like boundary things on the outside of the track that we were driving on here. Like he gets just red as it gets. It's so funny. And so he's like, hey, can I pull you away for just a second? I want to show you something. And I was like, sure, no big deal. So I walk over there and like I noticed that his face was kind of red, but I thought it was maybe just because it was kind of stuffy in there and maybe he was just overheating or something. He's like, I want you to try this. He's like, I know that you like horseradish and you know, some different spicy things. I was like, well, yeah. I mean, we all know that. And he's like, well, I want you to try this little sinus product that this lady was telling me about, and tell me what you think. I was like, okay. He's like, well, what do I have to do? He's just like, well, you just gotta, you know, put like a spray or 2 under your tongue. And so I shook it up a little bit, and I tried to spray it the first time, and nothing came out. And I tried it the second time, nothing came out. So I kind of shook it up again, and I did like 3 quick sprays, and I got 3 full sprays of this stuff. And like as soon as it made contact with my tongue, dude, that stuff was spicy. Oh my god! It just like it shot up directly into my sinus like immediately, and dude, my face turned red like within seconds. It was like the fastest. It was like the fastest transference, if that's even a word, to just like my face being regular to it just being beet red. And both my dad and the vendor were just dying laughing. They're like, look at you, man. That stuff really hit you fast. And it did, dude. It was awesome. Like, I wish I would have had that stuff like a week and a half ago when I was out for, you know, 2 or 3 days from being sick. Because I was congested as all get out, man. If I would have had that stuff would have fizzled out in no time. It was insane. I loved it. I love when companies try to experiment with things like that. It's so cool. So, yeah, dude, I love it. I love the health industry. I love seeing what all these companies can cook up and just like new innovative ways to try to deliver what we've all known forever in this type of thing. So like seeing companies try to find new innovative ways to make vitamin C absorb faster, or trying to find a different way to formulate like a hyaluronic acid supplement for your joints, or finding different sort of like technologies for encapsulating your products. Like this one company, they were using like nitrogen infused, they were doing like this nitrogen sealing technology for their capsules, so like once you get the product in there, no air comes in, no air comes out, and so like everything is sealed up and locked tight in there, and it's so cool. Like I love the type of technology and the type of research that goes into all this stuff. I find it just wonderfully fascinating, and so yeah, dude, it's great. And just like seeing, just like kind of getting to make connections with all these companies from all these different parts of the U.S. Like I got to talk to people from Georgia, and I got to talk to a guy from Alaska, and I was talking to somebody from Kentucky, and somebody from New Jersey, and people from Florida, and just all these different states, and just kind of getting to hear like their story about how they started working for the company they worked for, or people that just decided to on a whim open up their own company because a couple of their family members had some type of illness, and they wanted to find they wanted to kind of devise a way to help them, and so they decided to make up a product to help with their family members' illness. And when they found out that it worked, now they're now they're going to market their own thing, and I love it. I think it's really cool. I mean, a lot of you guys will probably hear this and be like, whatever. It's it can't be that interesting. It's just vitamins and like hippie stuff and whatever. But and some of it is. Some of it's really really earthy kind of, yeah, man, freaking toke it up, loving the neighborhood type of stuff. But a lot of it just, I don't know. It's just like I have a particular fascination with people's health, and I love being able to help people. And I mean, health is it's a very fragile thing. So, and you only get one body, so you gotta try to take care of it as best you can. And like, what better a way to do that than dealing with like healthy supplements and vitamins and stuff, something that every single person on the planet needs. So it's great. It's great. I love it all. And then on the way back, we decided that we were going to go stop by in Federal Way and go and grab a beer and something to eat and all that. Because dude, that show, even though we were only there for like 4 hours, just because it took us like 5 hours to drive up there, I mean, we were exhausted. Like, for a while, we were just like rushing around like crazy, trying to make sure we got everywhere. And we never even got to all the booths during that. Like, we really never even completed the journey there. We got through probably like 85% of it. There was an entire corner that we never even got to. So that was kind of a bummer. But it's all good. But after that, dude, like my dogs were barking. my feet were just in a world of hurt. It was all sorts of bad. So we drove a little ways down the road, and we decided to stop and get something to eat at the Ram. And so I definitely got some beer and some blackened chicken mac and cheese, and we were watching football in there and all sorts of stuff. And then this funny, really kind of awkward thing happened. Like right before we were getting ready to leave, I decided we're gonna be driving for a few hours, so I'm gonna go take a leak, since I drank a tall ass glass of beer. not like an ass glass. It wasn't like a glass in the shape of an ass, but it was a very tall glass. We'll put it that way. But so I stop off in there and I walk in, and there's a guy standing at the urinal peeing, and I walk in down the way, and I go into one of the stalls, because I don't want to be that guy in a bathroom with only 2 urinals and one guy at one of them. I don't want to be that one guy that just decides to walk up right next to the guy peeing and just do that. It's so uncomfortable. So I separated myself from him, and I go in there and I start peeing, and like I had a decently long pee. Like it was one of those I drank some beer pee, and so that's what that turned into. And from the time that I walked in to the time that I was done and almost done washing my hands, this guy was still peeing. And I don't know how long he had been doing it before I walked in. It seriously had to be almost a world record for peeing. I'm not even kidding. It was, and it was like, it wasn't like for the last few seconds, like, it was just a little dribbler at the end. Like, it was a full-on, like, someone turned on the faucet to full bore, like, crank up the fire hose, Johnny, we're putting this thing out tonight type of thing. It was just, because apparently peeing sounds like a like a weird, mouth-made machine gun, but you get what I'm saying. But yeah, like, it took me almost getting done washing my hands for him to finally finish up, and then he never washed his hands. He just walked out of the bathroom. I was just like, huh, okay. But then my dad walks in, and he decides that he's gonna, he's gotta, lighten the old bladder as well. And he walks in there and he does his thing, and he's just like, whoa! And I was like, what? Are you all right over there? He's like, well, I gotta tell you, I was standing right here, and I looked down, and there was just this huge ass spider, and it was like about this size, and like he showed me, it was literally about the size of one of those silver dollars. Like, it was huge. And he's like, and I almost kind of panicked for a second because it caught me off guard. He's like, but it was like walking towards my foot, so I lifted my foot up, and the thing walked right under my shoe, and I just crunched it. And when I moved my foot down on top of it, he's like, I could feel it and hear it crunch. It was so gross. He's like, dude, if your mom would have seen that, she would have died, and she would have just flushed white and fainted. Like, I know, pretty gross, but dude, that's nasty. Like, I mean, obviously, that's gonna happen at some point. You can't always keep bugs out. 99.9% of the time, especially because it's pretty close to the front door and people are walking in and out all the time. Whatever, a lot of bushes outside, so they'll be there. But that'd be like mortifying to look at. You're trying to empty out the old trouser snake, and then you get a full dose of a huge ass, 8-legged nuisance like that. Man, I would have kind of freaked out a little bit. So yeah, dude, that was weird. Then we saw, like, on the way back, this is going to be kind of a longer episode, I guess. I might as well finish up my story here, but we were driving on the way back, and, like, we totally almost saw, like, a crazy ass, like, road rage car accident on the freeway. Like, we were just kind of cruising in the fast lane, no big deal, and we saw right behind us. We all somehow saw this at the same time somehow. I don't even know how it happened, but my brother was looking back because my dad wanted to switch lanes, and I was looking through one of the mirrors, and we all looked back, and this guy in this SUV ended up kind of cutting off this guy in like a Geo Metro. And we're like, whoa, man, that was kind of a close call. That was really weird. And so then the guy kind of takes off in front of us, and he's just, and then he's just kind of driving, no big deal. He kind of is just like, oh, well, I did something stupid, but, we're all going on with our lives. But the guy in that Geo Metro, dude, he threw a fit. It was all bad. So we see him just go, slamming right by. Like, he put the pedal to the metal and went straight by him. And, he went and flew right in front of this guy and got right in front of him. Like, he almost clipped him. He almost, like, pit maneuvered him, trying to get in front of him. And so this guy, switches lanes into the fast lane, and he kind of goes ahead. And the guy in the Metro speeds up again, and he does this crazy dick move. Like, he doesn't put his turn signal on, and he just swerves over, like, to his left, right in front of this guy in the other lane. And that guy had to slam on his brakes. And he almost caused a wreck that probably would have ended up, potentially causing a pileup, because we were still fairly close to him, and it was not good. And so the guy slows down, and then the guy peels off and goes over 4 lanes without using his turn signal, and then goes and hits the off ramp over there. But it's like, what was the point of that? Like, I get it, the guy cut you off, and that's kind of upsetting, but you can't just do that. You can't just, like, sit there and just almost ram your car into his because he, cut you off for a second. I mean, God. Ugh, I don't understand how people operate sometimes, but that was, like, really nerve-wracking. It was pretty uncomfortable. But after that, it was fine. We drove all the way back home. Ended up, rolling in the driveway at like 11:45 or whatever. And so, dude, it was a long ass day. Waking up at 7 in the morning and getting home at 11:45, dude. I was drained as shit. So, I strolled into the house. I uploaded my episode of God of War that I had sitting here, and as soon as it got done, I actually like started falling asleep in my chair right here, and then I went up and went to bed, and I didn't even actually like I didn't even get my pants all the way off. I woke up the next morning and like I still had my jeans on one leg. They didn't actually come off somehow through. I must have been just like totally motionless all night for me to have not like have kicked those off while I was sleeping. But oh boy, I can't wait, man. I want to go to the one in Anaheim really bad when we get around to it, because that's going to be a blast. Especially if it's anything like this, I want to kind of have that really chaotic, like New York Stock Exchange type of environment where everybody's just like, shoulder to shoulder running into people like, oh my god, I got to get this done right now and all that type of stuff. So yeah, man, it was pretty cool. So, when we come back on the next episode, it looks like the expectations that I had built for this are actually going to pan out. We only have 10 laps to go. So, when we come back on the next installment of Let's Play Gran Turismo, the Ultimate Driving Simulator, we're going to finish up this endurance race. And again, we're going to start up the third one, the third and final one. So, until then, my friends, this is AMF saying thank you guys for watching and listening to my never-ending rant, it seems. And I'll see you next time. Take care, everybody.